Keyboard up. The
Oh, we're live.
We're live. We are live.
Okay, no countdown. It threw me off.
Greetings, I asked you, dude. You wanted a countdown. You said no countdown, so there was no countdown.
Has it been a week already? Wow. Okay, let's try to do the intro correctly this time. Greetings, Heroes World citizens.
Your intro is funnier.
Welcome to So What Did I Miss? The show where we scour the internet to find all the important news headlines in geek culture and bring them to you so you don't have to. I'm your host, Chris, brother of John, and today we have my co-host and panelist, because we don't have Rob today, is Pat. And we have our panelist, strictly a panelist, he's not going to be hosting this one, is John from Heroes World, one of the co-hosts.
I have no clue what's going on today.
So we prepped John as best we could. We're gonna
which
see
is
how this
zero
goes.
to none prep.
Usually Rob's our context guy. He gives us all the background info. We'll see how this goes. So we have two main stories today. First main story, we think, is A Quiet Place Part 2 opened last weekend after a 14-month delay, and it breaks the previously held pandemic box office curse with a $57 million domestic opening over the long weekend. To give this some scale, it had already passed Christopher Nolan's Tenet's entire theatrical run with just that opening. So I know that Canada's not fully open yet, but it only accounts for about 9% of the domestic box office. So my question to you guys is does this mark the return of the North American box office? Or domestic in our case? Is this a return to form or with things starting to get back to normal theater-wise? John, what do you think?
Yeah, it's hard to say because in Canada we're still pretty much locked down. Like you look out on the street, everyone's masked up and stuff. But if you're on like your Instagram or whatever, and you're seeing pictures of the United States and Vegas and stuff, people are just walking around like it's normal everyday stuff going on. So it doesn't look like there's as many crowds as you would normally see. But if those theaters are open, and I think if you're double vaccinated, like I think even I think basketball games they're allowing. There's people in the stadiums. There's a whole bunch of drama that went down. Popcorn getting poured on players and stuff like that, right? Like that's crazy.
Yeah, people forgot how to be normal during sporting events.
So stuff is going down. So I think it looks like especially like I think we can now in Canada book our second vaccination. So if you've got your single vaccination, you can now book your second vaccination ahead of the usual schedule or something along those lines. So it looks like we're on the road to recovery, I guess. but yeah, that sounds like an impressive box office opening to me. I think that's on like it's very similar to the original opening for that movie, and that is not a Fast and the Furious 9 style movie. So I think that's respectable. Poor Tenet, who had to blaze the path during early pandemic. Yeah, it kind of sucks. I still haven't seen it. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but yeah, sorry, Chris, go or Pat, whoever is.
I think the thing we have to consider though is that. Is it successful because it's a good movie, or is it just because people are so done with not going to a theater, right? Like, I mean, I love John Krasinski and Emily Blunt as much as the next person, but at the end of the day, is it successful because it's a good movie? Do people love it? Or is it really more just people are like, I got to get out of here. What's the newest movie I want to see in a theater? And I feel like A Quiet Place, that franchise, was kind of designed to be a theater movie. Right? Like we can't watch that movie on demand at home. You need to be in the room. You need to have the ambiance, right? So
lights have got to be out. Your phone's got to be off. Yeah.
So, you got to have those like to be cliche, quiet moments where you're like really building anticipation. Like I think it falls into that category of really low budget thriller movies that do crazy box office. Make the studio a lot of money. So it might have been right place, right time, like you said, but. I think this is probably
How did Spiral do? Spiral is a similar movie, right?
Spiral did not do very well.
Didn't quite do like. I see 2.2. 2.2. It looks like it did.
Well, like, I mean, think about the timing too, right? Like, is this the first big movie since most of America has reopened? I think so. Right? Like, what other big movies have come out ever since, like, we were talking before, like baseball stadiums are now open, hockey stadiums are now open. What other movie came out? So I mean, again, I'm not taking any away from that movie, but is it breaking the curse, or is it just a matter of time?
No, I think like Mortal Kombat and a bunch of other stuff has come out theaters. Jason Statham's Wrath of Man is a theater exclusive, and I think it's available to rent like a couple days or a week after. But yeah, some movies are exclusive to theaters still. So yeah, it's
So
definitely not the first. I don't think it's the first, but yeah.
Should studios rethink this whole streaming at the same time as theater releases now? You think it's a time to maybe just try to treat things like normal and release these movies just strictly in theaters? Do you think that's a good play, Pat? I think they will.
I think it's based on country, right? Like you can't do worldwide release anymore. You can do maybe America domestic release, maybe a limited Canadian release in places, but I don't think we're gonna go back to worldwide release for a long time. Because like America has a lot of all vaccinations and we're getting there, but there's a lot of places where it's not possible, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are the vaccine shots like in
well,
China?
which areas box office mean the most, right? Like China is basically back to normal. Like you saw the numbers. John was looking at the numbers before this, like $100 million movie openings. Fast and the Furious opened huge with that last week. What I would say is completely lost my train of thought. What do you think, John? Should they rethink that?
I think they have to now. Yeah, especially with you can see the difference in things like movies like Mortal Kombat, which had a significant drop after the first week opening because it was available on streaming simultaneous. So maybe for the areas like Canada, who is, I think you mentioned that we're like maybe less than 10% of the box
9%.
office gross. So, if they let us view it streaming online, sure, no problem. But if in the States it's exclusive to online, we saw, I think Demon Slayer was the other kind of good example. Demon Slayer, an anime movie that opened up only in theaters, no option to stream, and it became a juggernaut. So if you can't have that option, like how comfortable is it? I miss theaters. I really miss theaters. So once they're ready to go, I'm definitely going back. But how comfortable is it to be able to go do your errands and whatever you're doing during the day, get everything you're done, get your cooking, get whatever supplies you need, and be able to go home and sit down and watch the latest movie release. So like that's pretty appealing. So some people are going to go with that option, but you take away that choice. Yeah, maybe date night is back on the table or whatever.
I feel
some
like
people
this
that's a debate. Yeah.
I feel like this $30.
It's just he's right. He or she is right. It's just not the. It's just
Thanks for joining us. I Make Music. He says, or he or she says, Mortal Kombat wasn't a good movie, and that's 100% valid point as well. Maybe word of mouth killed that movie after the first week, but it's doing well for the studio. I think they keep praising it, so I don't know if they're there's some like a false news narrative that they want to make sure that it's good, did well. We were going to pretend it didn't. It could have been better. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like the $30 streaming right away package. I think for like a family play, like you don't want to bring like you and your 2 or 3 kids like to the theater and things like that. You pay $30, you keep it in house and for family movies that might be a good play. But these movies that require theaters, I think maybe should probably go straight to theaters now. I think this opening is a signal to everyone like, hey, the domestic box office is back, so let's start. I guess
is Quiet Place available on streaming? It's not, right?
No,
I think it's
strictly theaters only.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess my next question would be: Is a movie going to break 100 mil this summer? Like, I think the easy guess is Fast 9, which comes out at the end of the month. Is Fast 9 going to break 100 mil? What do you guys think? In domestically, that is.
100 mil domestically. So the closest movie we have over here was Godzilla, which 97 mil.
Opening week then. 100 mil.
Opening weekend. I don't know if that's a possibility. I would have to see the stats of how many theaters are actually open to make ticket sales. But if anyone's got a chance, it's 100% Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
I feel like Fast and the Furious is the type of movie that people would really want to watch after everything that's going on, like a nothing movie, like you just go watch explosions, popcorn, drinks, stand outside the theater, chat for a bit, you're done. Like I feel like if there was a movie, that would be a movie that would break 100 mil.
Yeah,
just from COVID fatigue.
Yeah, and to answer I Make Music's question, I would say because where Shang-Chi is right at the beginning of September, like Labor Day weekend, I think that's enough time, and it's going to be the first Marvel movie, strictly in theaters. I think it'll pass 7.
Yeah, because Black Widow's getting the Disney Plus.
It's getting the Disney Plus, unless they retract it now that it comes out. In like
it'll be hard. It'll be hard to take that back. It's easy to drop it last minute. That's why I understand some of these companies not dropping their streaming content till like the day or weekend of.
Gives them the flexibility to.
Yeah, so it's hard for them to go, oh yeah, we changed our mind. So that I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. All right, so one last thing on this thing. Next week we have the opening of another kind of similar kind of movie in the same vein, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. What do you think this is going to end with at the box office? I guess up next weekend. Do you think it'll beat Quiet Place? Which one will come out on top? I guess I'll just ask.
I don't even know what that movie is. Go to Pat. I don't know what that movie is.
I've heard nothing about this movie.
All right, never mind then. Okay, our next main story we have is in an interview or something, Sony kind of implied that they have a plan to connect Spider-Man back to their shared universe that they're building, kind of, with Venom and Morbius, and now the newly cast Kraven the Hunter. Now, given the track record of Sony, the past two Spider-Man movies didn't do so well, essentially on loan, Spider-Man on loan to Marvel, making, great content with Marvel. Are we a little worried when Sony takes this back that maybe they're going to kind of maybe screw this up a bit with Spider-Man? Has Marvel kind of built, and the success of Venom, which was very successful, but not a terribly great movie, has this kind of propped them up to think, okay, we can handle Spider-Man now, we can do it. And are they in for kind of a rude awakening with this? What do you think, John?
Yeah, well, I did have a fantastic time at Venom, and I liked the movie. The quality is definitely not of storytelling, I guess, is not up there with a Marvel movie. There's a clear difference between them, so I feel like I would have thought they would, because that Spider-Man project was already happening before Venom got made, so they kind of got a peek behind the scenes. I don't know if they were allowed, or unless there's some like type of thing in the contract where none of those Sony guys are allowed on set when Marvel's doing their thing. But they've seen how it works. They've seen how the world builds. So it's, I don't know how they can't just steal that, like kind of like mimic that formula, And I think someone in the comments mentions Mobius. That's been pushed back. So we don't even have an indication of like if they can kind of come up with that. So I'm slightly worried. But
I would say for sure with Venom and Spider-Man, it's gonna make a lot of money. It's gonna be successful for Sony, I would think. But do we deserve a better Spider? I think this is a flagship character for Marvel. Do we deserve a better Spider-Man movie than what probably Sony can do? What do you think, Pat?
Well, I mean, we deserve a better Spider-Man movie. We deserve a better X-Men movie, right? Yeah. So I mean.
But there are people who don't like the Tom Holland's youngish Spider-Man that might want the return of like an old school traditional Spider-Man, right? Sure,
but the people that want that Spider-Man probably pales in comparison to the number that want the Tom Holland, I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of play your numbers. Would you rather have a Spider-Man that a portion of the population want with not so great storytelling, or would you want that Tom Holland Spider-Man with everything that comes with Tom Holland, right? And the Feige MCU, right? I feel like Sony's been giving a long enough leash. Every Marvel property they've touched has not been great. Maybe you can say that X2 United was the best one, right? Maybe First Class. But all their Fantastic Four movies, all their X-Men movies, all their Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, well, X-Men was Fox.
X-Men is Fox. Yeah, X-Men is Fox.
Sure.
So non-Marvel studio.
But someone that is not under the Marvel Studios. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I guess technically Fox is Marvel now, right? But anyways, the point is, I think the leash has been giving them long enough, and I'm still very, very,
very skeptical. Yeah, I would say so. I feel like this should worry fans a bit. Huge diehard Spider-Man fans should be very worried about this, and I
would be way more excited if they said after this Venom movie or after this we're doing more collabs with Marvel, Marvel Studios. I would be way more excited about that.
Yeah.
What is Spider-Verse under quickly? Is Spider-Verse a Sony project?
Into the Spider-Verse? That's a Sony. Yeah, Sony, strictly Sony. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe, yeah. What if they decide, hey, that worked really well for us, and whoever was working on that, like, let's do that with live action Spider-Man, and maybe Miles can now be a player in a live action project. True. So maybe, yeah.
Yeah, well, they'd have to get Lord and Miller, like the Lego movie guys, and they did that Miller's movie, or what was it? What was that movie? The family movie recently they did on Netflix. I think it was on Netflix. Oh my god, I completely blanking.
Rob's not here. You're gonna have to. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, we
Someone
need
had to look it
context.
up. Look it up later.
We need context, Rob. Back. Yeah, they did that movie that was pretty good too. Like they're good at doing
Miss you,
animated
Rob.
things. Yeah. All right. Anyways, that goes for the main topics for today. You know, not much news breaking this week, but we can move on to the segment for Pat. What did we say we were going to call this? Pictures with Pat.
Pictures with Pat.
Yes,
where
Pictures with Pat. Let's go.
Where Pat scours the news for the internet and brings us visual aids for everything that happened this week.
Yeah, Pat's a very visual guy, you know.
I'm a very visual guy. I don't do words. So one of the biggest things that happened is that apparently this week, oh look, it looks so nice. Thor: Love and Thunder has finished.
Filming. Wow.
Filming. So here is a picture.
Yeah, this is Chris Helmsworth, guys. Got to start working out. This is ridiculous.
I know.
You figured he could show up in shape.
Yeah, go up in shape. Come on.
Yeah.
Look at that.
This took the internet by storm because, like, he showed up super jacked. If you notice, if this is right after their scene, why, like, his T-shirt, right? He doesn't have an eye patch. I don't know if that eye patch gets added on. Like, remember how he doesn't have an eye at the end of Ragnarok, right? Like,
I thought it regenerated in one.
He gets it back in Infinity War.
It
regenerates the robot eye back in. Rocket gives him the robot eye. Yeah.
Right, and then here's the director or the previous director of like Ragnarok, right? Taika Waititi. He's like in his Korg costume.
His Korg, yeah. I think the big thing is that the last time we saw Thor, he was Fat Thor, right? He was Fat Thor in Endgame. Yeah. So this is a indication that we're not going to have that Fat Thor. We're going to have
like Bro Thor.
Yeah, like Arnold Schwarzenegger level, 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger level Thor here.
I'm trying to figure out what he's holding though. It looks like a wrestling belt. He kind of looks like a wrestler.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if that's Thor in costume for the movie. And what is that? It has his.
Oh, I'm excited to find out, and I'm pretty sure he's savvy enough to know exactly that people are going to be thinking that exact same thing, which is why he did it this way.
Yeah, and he has the long hair too.
And he has the long hair.
Yeah, long hair's back. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Then I don't know if you guys care, but I personally do. This is a teaser image for the Borderlands movie, starring Cate Blanchett as Lilith. Right?
I thought I recognized that silhouette, Cate Blanchett.
Yeah. Is this based off the Bone Thugs and Harmony song? Is that what this is? A live action movie? Yeah.
Borderlands? No, it's based on this video game franchise.
All right. Fine.
So yeah, Borderlands. First-person shooter, kind of RPG, lots of RPG elements to it. Very funny, very self-aware, very funny movie. So I actually played that. They had a kind of like a RPG.
The story one, the Telltale.
Yeah, the Telltale ones, and that was, that was really funny. I thought that was super funny. So the same level of comedic.
And John, in case you didn't know, this is what this character model is based on. That's how she looks like in game.
So yeah, Lilith. Yeah.
But look how close that looks in terms of like overall comparison, right? So I'm excited. It's Cate Blanchett. The last time I saw her in a relevant movie, she was Hella. So that's that.
Yeah. So hopefully that breaks the video game movie curse. Because I don't know if we have a good video game movie yet. Anyways.
Yeah. Next, these got revealed. McFarlane Suicide Squad line of toys, like John's favorite McFarlane figures. If you can, as you can see, we have John Cena Peacemaker, right? We have King Shark, Margot Robbie, Polka Dot Man. I actually don't know who that is in the middle left.
I think it's probably Idris Elba's character.
Bloodsport or something like that.
Bloodsport, yeah.
Right? I'm very curious as to why they're all holding swords.
Harley Quinn's not holding a sword. That's like a stick.
Okay, fine. So why is she holding a stick and not a hammer or a gun? Gotta watch the movie to find out.
Yeah. Why is she wearing a dress?
So this is kind of spoilery, I would think. Polka Dot Man, you think would be a character that we murdered immediately, but if they're making a toy of him, maybe he's got a bigger role.
You never know. There's a bunch of toys that get made and they immediately die.
Okay.
That King Shark looks ridiculous.
Yeah, so this is cool to finally see them. They look good. I had to order these blind, so us at the store, we had to just order them. We just had the names of the figures, and we just had to choose what quantities we wanted. So now that we see them in person, they do look pretty good. Like these look different. Like Pat, you're more of a Marvel collector. DC, but not really the McFarlane DC stuff. But you can these figures look pretty good. Obviously, this is some type of production shot with nice lighting and all that kind of stuff. I don't know who these generic dudes are on the floor. I don't know if that's a figure that's going to come out. But yeah, and that Build a Shark is probably most likely going to be a Build a Shark. I already called it. Is it most likely a Build a Figure that's going to have like a piece in every guy, or it could be some type of deluxe figure. McFarlane is doing like these new mega figures, which are deluxe figures that are like $40 figures. So maybe it'll be part of that line. Who knows? But look at that John Cena. I can't wait to have him.
You're gonna have to repaint his helmet though. It's not shiny enough.
Yeah, it's got to be chromed out. You got to chrome it out. You got to get one of those paint pens that does the chrome markers.
Speaking of toys, since John mentioned Marvel toys, there was also some new reveals of Marvel Legends that were given to a bunch of content creators, including our friend Kevin, who was given the ability to spoil this shirtless Wolverine.
Ooh.
Shirtless Wolvie.
Pardon?
Shirtless Wolvie.
Shirtless Wolverine, right? And then they finally made a Callisto figure.
Who's the guy in the top left there? Is that Sebastian
Mastermind.
Mastermind. Oh.
This is the Mastermind from the Hellfire Club.
Okay.
Era. And the guy on the top right, Cypher. You have to be from the 90s. Cyber. You have to be from the 90s. So you remember who Cyber is?
Was he made? He was made of adamantium, right? Or
adamantium on his his skin or his arms at least.
His arms, pretty cool. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. We don't know how these are getting released yet, but the fact that they're giving these to a bunch of content creators to kind of spoil and reveal, that's pretty good news.
Yeah, and that's a redux of the Omega Red. It's got a new head sculpt. It's got some new coloring going on. So it's a nice figure.
Yeah, Omega Red, one of my more favorite villains from the classic X-Men stuff. Yeah.
You know you're from the 90s, man. And that's kind of what they're doing, right? They're making these figures towards people who are like us, who grew up in the 90s, because nobody would ever remember who Cyber is. He
was a character in that X-Men fighting game, that first one they did. That was surprising. They made Omega Red a character in that.
Omega Red, Omega Red, the tendrils and the and stuff. Yeah, children of the Atom,
Callisto, like what is nobody remembers Callisto outside of like fighting Storm in the comic book or the cartoon show, right?
I remember she's the leader of the Morlocks in the cartoon.
Exactly. Yeah, and so you know who the audience for this stuff is, right? It's people of our generation. Next, talking about a little comic book news. At the store, we're a huge fan of Donny Cates. Venom, and he's now leaving Venom, so he's being replaced by Al Ewing, who is, ironically enough, leaving the Immortal Hulk, another series that we love at the store. In fact, the writers are
two of Marvel's greatest books.
Yeah,
these two books plus actually, Daredevil, like they're in.
They're actually swapping titles. Later, so when they relaunch, Al Ewing is taking over for Venom. So these are some promotional shots that they're doing. So this might be a more, horror-centric Venom. Maybe. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. And then on the flip side, Donny Cates is taking over for the Incredible Hulk. So this
I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, I've always wanted to be a Hulk fan. That looks good.
Yeah.
So we went interior panels there. Yeah.
Yeah, we went 50 issues of Immortal Hulk as like a more horror genre. Now we're going back
super horror genre. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so that's kind of pretty big news if you're in the Marvel, if you're currently reading Marvel books, and then finally, more pictures of Chris's favorite thing to be.
Yes, Avengers Campus, baby.
Avengers Campus officially opening later next week or later this week down in Disneyland. So these are some shots of these are actually maybe a couple months old already, but from previous months, right? So we have kind of like the main area, the Avengers. Compound with the Quinjet. Wow. But then we have some new stuff that was also released. Like a picture of what I assume is the Sanctum Sanctorium design.
Yeah.
It's like half of it's like blown up.
Maybe after Endgame,
Right. Then there's also this other shot of the Avengers compound with an Avengers Jeep.
Cool.
Then here's another shot of this. This is actually a ride. This is the Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Oh, cool.
Right. So it's in this giant building. This is the only shot they have, but for now, right. Then they're actually open for press and stuff, and then as you can see, they actually have some of how at Wonderland they have people performing. There's a bunch of Dora Milaje.
Yeah.
And then we have look at that.
When I went, they had Captain Phasma marching with a whole bunch of
oh wow, cool.
Clone Troopers and stuff through the Star Wars section, so I'd imagine this is a similar type of
it's like
show.
Like Caesar's Palace in Vegas when Caesar walks through the casino. Kind of
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
You see the
That's
Dora Milaje just chilling, like, you know, with their spears, and then we have bootleg Benedict Cumberbatch here.
Oh yeah.
Kind of looks like him, right? I don't know what this is. I think it looks like a celestial head.
And that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It looks like a celestial type helmet.
Like
Yeah.
celestial head, right?
So it's like Disney. You know, Disney. You walk around. There's like the princesses and like
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse and Goofy and all them chilling. It's
and
kinda
he
like that.
apparently opened the door. He goes through a portal, just like the movies.
Oh,
cool.
very, very interactive. Very cool.
Then your favorite, I have this. I'm gonna let you describe this because
This is actually an animatronic Spider-Man that they're gonna have swinging around. I guess at various time periods to kind of wow the crowd. It's just funny because it's like a robot. It's not a real person. So.
like if that breaks and falls on it. Like I don't even know, man.
If Japan can have a Gundam, I feel like they can
off,
make an animatronic Spider-Man that swings back and forth.
Oh yeah,
but, sure. Yeah, and that's all I got for pictures. But yeah, you know, let's leave that image of a Spider-Man swinging, an animatronic Spider-Man swinging through the park as your last.
Hey, that's going to be the main attraction, man. When you take your kids
they're
going to be like, I want to see Spider-Man.
John, you were saying they have?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that, like this is like they have the Star Wars build, right? And now they're gonna have this whole Marvel section, so that's gonna be kind of crazy.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, that is our visual tour of the week.
All right, thanks, Pat. We're gonna test drive a new segment now. It's something I've been talking about for weeks now. If you're like with the guys, kind of behind the scenes, so we're gonna test drive it now. It's called the Hero or Zero. So I'm gonna read off a headline, and you're going to either say hero, which thumbs up basically, or zero, which is thumbs down. And then if you want to, optional, you can give a 1-sentence take. So last time I threw to John, and this went really poorly. So we're gonna have him on a short release today, and we're gonna try it out. Okay. So some quick news bits that don't require too much discussion. Shang-Chi star Simu Liu, sorry, in a really long Facebook post, basically goes off on his feelings towards the Convenience producers and its production or behind the scenes things. Now, one could say he burnt a bridge. I would say he absolutely eviscerated a bridge on his way out here. He basically details very intimate details of the process behind and the problems behind the scenes, including like improper representation, issues with a spin-off series they're making with one of the only kind of white characters on the show. The fact that he'll never return to do anything like that. He was upset with the direction of his character. A lot of things that you don't see a lot of Hollywood types doing. What I would say on the cusp of potential superstardom with Shang-Chi, was this move by Simu hero or zero, Pat?
Good for him. Good for him.
So hero move.
He's a literal hero there. Yeah, he's a literal hero. Good for him. That's all I got.
John, what do you think?
Dangerous.
Yeah, I think he definitely needs to bring awareness to it. So you'd have to read the article yourself and decide how he comes off. It's obviously there are two sides of the story.
It's really long.
Yeah, two sides of the story. So you never know. But if he's exposing something that is not, like you said, not properly represented or not fairly done, then it's something that needs to be done, and he's using his platform. So he's been pretty good with all his stuff lately. So I would support him right now.
Let me add 2 words. Okay. If true. Good for him.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem to giving a one-word answer to this. We want to.
Yeah, that one might have been required a little more discussion. So we'll
that's probably the most in-depth one you have.
We're workshopping. Okay. A French retailer accidentally showed a product page for the potential Switch Pro. The most important detail basically being the price point. It was listed at 399 euros, which converts to $484 US, but more realistically, I think it would probably be around the same price in US, which is $399, which is converts to a whopping almost $500, $485 Canadian. This price point for the Nintendo Switch Pro, is that a hero or a zero, John? What do you think? So almost about $200 more.
Sounds like a lot. I'm gonna say zero just because it sounds like a lot.
Pat, what do you think? The Switch guy in the crowd.
It feels really expensive. It feels really expensive.
For just 4K, basically. Yeah. I mean, you get an OLED screen, probably better Joy-Cons.
If it has the functionality of a phone, then maybe an iPhone is more than that, right?
Yeah, this thing it comes out on the.
Comparatively, it feels expensive.
I think this thing is coming out in the fall. It's going to be the thing for Christmas. Like it's going to, knowing how Nintendo does its hardware, it's going to sell out super quick, and it's going to be super hard to get, and people are going to be reselling it. I think like crazy. That's what I think.
How much did you say it was going to be? Approximately $500.
Yeah, 480. Well, it converts. I don't know how they do it, but it converts from US to about 445.
Take your regular Switch and slap a $200 bill onto it, right?
No, a regular Switch is like $300 or $400 already. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's like $399, I think, right? In Canadian.
It's not cheap, yeah.
All right, next one. Marvel animated Disney Plus show What If, which features alternate takes on critical Marvel moments in the timeline, is set to premiere in August, closely after Loki. What If animated TV show? Is this, I know you guys probably read the comics and things like that. Is this a hero or a zero? John?
I think it's great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Pat?
I hope it's good. I hope it's doing well.
You guys got to say hero or zero. This doesn't work.
Oh, hero.
Hero. It's done well, hero. That's definitely a hero thing. Yeah.
All right. I think the biggest news item over the past few days is Mark Millar's Jupiter's Legacy was canceled after one season of Netflix. And that, I think, is in itself is hard to do. Netflix usually gives 3 seasons of shows like candy on Halloween, like they're giving these things. However, they are going to shift more to an anthology style series, adapting more Millar verse, I guess is the word they're using.
Yeah, he's got like a whole.
So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this thing, but Super Crooks seems to be the next one. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that. So
yeah, I think it's a comic. Yeah.
So Netflix sticking to their guns with this Millerverse. Is this a hero move or a zero move, John? What do you think? Seem to know most about this.
I think he's got a lot of things going on. So yeah, I guess Jupiter's Legacy wasn't well received, so they pulled the plug. You couldn't have given them a couple more months to stream the show before you pulling the plug, but whatever. I think you got to keep going because Miller is an idea guy, and some of them are going to hit, some of them are going to miss.
Pat, what do you think?
Yeah.
Did Pat even watch Jupiter's Legacy?
No, I didn't watch it yet.
Good for him. You missed it.
So zero.
Zero. Got it. All right. So breaking news: Seth Rogen, he's doing an animated TMNT movie project, and it's confirmed to be coming out in 2023. And in this, I guess in this reveal, he kind of reveals that he's going to focus more on the teenage portion of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He has experience with this, Superbad, other movies like that nature. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Angst Edition concept. Is this hero zero? Pat, you're the show
hero
guy here.
for Turtles, hesitant about the teenage part.
So you're in the middle.
No, any TMNT stuff, I'm all down for.
Okay. So Ninja Turtles worrying about things like prom and dances. John, is that something you think it'll apply?
Totally. Riverdale with Ninja Turtles? Sure. Sign me up. I don't know. Seth Rogen has done a pretty good job. He's produced a bunch of.
Say what?
Anyways,
they're gonna go to high school. It's gonna be a thing. All right.
It's like Optimus Prime and Megatron in high school.
Exactly. All right, Indiana Jones 5 starring Harrison Ford starts filming next week. Another Indiana Jones movie, hero or zero, John?
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give it a zero. I don't really care about Indiana Jones. Sorry, Indiana Jones fans. Nathan Drake is coming. Yeah, Nathan Drake is coming.
Pat, what do you think?
I'm actually very okay with it. So a hero, if this movie sets up for him passing the torch. If this is just another version,
like with the Crystal Skull.
Yeah. Then
yeah, no one liked that thing apparently. All right, Netflix is rumored to be ramping up their to try to start and enter the video game market. Details are kind of vague, but let's assume it's going to be cloud-based, subscription-based video games, including some of Netflix's more popular properties. Umbrella Academy. I know there already is one, but maybe a different Stranger Things types game. Netflix getting into the video game market. Is this a hero or a zero move, Pat? I'll go to you first.
If it's new games, hero. If it's just existing stuff that you download or something like that, like a pass, no, I'll pass. But if it's if it's brand new stuff, definitely. More games is always good.
John, what do you think? You gonna be playing games on your Netflix account anytime soon?
I think Hero. Everyone's subscribed to Netflix, so if they start adding a video game component that you also install Netflix on your computer now or whatever your gaming system is, sure, why not? You know,
All right.
like so many games come out on your phone that are free and stuff. Why not have the Netflix version?
Yeah, I was thinking someone would say they're pretty late to the party, and then maybe not with a good base for video games, kind of just jumping into it might have been a little wary of it. But yeah, sounds like you guys are on board. All right, next one. New details have emerged on the potential scrapped Doctor Strange cameo in WandaVision. The director kind of described it as a handoff to the new multiverse movie, the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness movie. So we kind of structured like a post-credit scene where Wanda and Doctor Strange would be kind of walking off into the sunset. Was removing this cameo, like, would you have liked to see this cameo? Was removing it a hero move or a zero move? Pat, do you think it's better off without it?
You already made your choice. Leave it. Leave it. You already made your choice. If it's wrong, you made the choice already. Zero.
Okay.
Not interested in seeing it now.
John, what do you think? Should they have put it in?
They should have done it because they basically like were like at the end, people had so many questions that heard reading the book and all that kind of stuff. They might not be able to put together that is a Doctor Strange lead-in. So show a guy in a Doctor Strange cape from behind or whatever that so people go, okay, now I got to watch this Doctor Strange, or go back and watch Doctor Strange whatever on stream.
When I saw her with the book, I thought they were going to do something like, you remember in Doctor Strange when he was grabbing the books from the library, like kind of stealing them off the shelf behind Benedict Wong's character, whatever his name is. Yeah, I thought they were gonna. Yeah, wrong. I thought they were gonna do that. I thought she was gonna start like taking them, maybe have a Wong cameo. That'd be cool if they couldn't get Benedict Cumberbatch. All right, so the last bit of news item: FX has announced the release date of some of its shows, including the much anticipated Y: The Last Man. Now I feel like they have been trying to make this a movie or a show for 20 years. John knows what I'm talking about. They have it slated for
since Topher Grace was a go-to guy.
Yeah.
This was on the table, and now unfortunately, I don't know what he's working on now.
Yeah, so September 13th is the date. I don't know. I think I forgot to mention that. Now this product or this book is from 2002. I think it first was released, and it had about 60 issues. They've been trying to make this forever. And it's finally on its way. We've seen screenshots of some of the footage, so it's coming. Y: The Last Man, 20 plus or almost 20 years later, hero or zero, John?
Yeah, hero. They got to get it out. Brian K. Vaughan has another book called Saga that he basically put on hold to work on Y: The Last Man. So this project's got to get on the floor. It's got to see if it works in the live action form, and then Brian K. Vaughan's got to get back to Saga. But excellent book. If you never read Y: The Last Man, definitely read it.
What do you think, Pat?
Way too late.
Is it time for this? No, zero. Okay.
They should have scrapped it. They should have scrapped it.
Yeah.
Like we are in a completely different culture in 2021, 22 than 2002. Writing a story about a guy and like everything he goes to, like if you read the book, like his all these gender issues, I don't think that topic is as clever as it is now than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, it is 18 years ago, right? So this is a different time entirely.
Like he spends half the book trying to like have sex with people.
Yeah,
does he?
Yeah,
but there are definitely issues.
Yeah, like rewatching Friends, which ended 17 years ago. It's kind of the same kind of time frame. Like the show, like there's some things in that show that are pretty cringy. So, anyways. Okay, so that's my Hero Zero segment. I think I have to streamline it a bit more. We were maybe discussing things a bit too much. I think my headlines have to be like maybe one or one.
I think the answers for them weren't as clear cut. So we need to think of something that's maybe more like yes, no, or something like that. I don't know.
I hear you. All right, so let's head into the next segment, which is what do you got on tap for the weekend. This is where we kind of recommend things or tell people what we got going on the weekend, maybe things to check out. John, what do you got?
So I think tomorrow Sweet Tooth premieres on Netflix.
Well, that would have been what Rob would have said. Yeah.
Jeff Lemire project, and Rob just dropped a video on books to read by Jeff Lemire. So I definitely recommend checking out Rob's video. And I am definitely going to tune into at least the first episode of Sweet Tooth, and I don't even know if anything else is opening. A brand new Sailor Moon project dropped on Netflix. If you guys are Sailor Moon fans, and they unearthed a Super Mario director's cut of some kind that a bunch of fans put together. Yeah, an extra 20 minutes. So I don't. That's probably last on my list. So first on my list is probably going to be check out Sweet Tooth tomorrow. I don't think we've ever seen, me and my brother, I don't think we've ever seen Super Mario. We saw Double Dragon for sure with Robert Patrick,
I'm missing much.
Scott Wolf, Mark Dukakis, and Alyssa Milano. Yeah, sorry.
Well, Alyssa Milano. Wow. Okay. Pat, what do you got?
T-1000 was in that.
Well, apparently, I have to go watch Jupiter's Legacy now that it's not being renewed.
You got to catch up on this Dunzo project.
Yeah.
I hear it ends on a cliffhanger too, so it's just like
it was clearly a setup season of some kind. So that is a shame for those
people
working on that show.
Oh, I'm gonna go watch the second episode of MODOK. I did not like the first episode.
Oh yes, MODOK is dropping second episode.
Yeah.
And there will be on episode 3 this week. Also, Bad Batch does drop on Friday if you're a Star Wars fan.
I was not a fan of the first episode, but that's a whole different topic.
MODOK, right?
I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah, it gets better. Second episode is actually, I think, way better. Yeah, I think you guys will actually like second episode.
I remember Lower Decks I didn't like either at first, and then it kind of picked up steam towards the end. I ended up liking it overall. For myself, it's not really the weekend, but Loki, the TV show, comes out on Wednesday, so you can check that out.
We're a week out from Loki.
Yeah. So that's all I had. And that's it. So what I will do is I'll throw it over to John. He'll tell us what's going on this week in the Heroes World podcast verse.
Yeah, so a Heroes World podcast, new episodes every Sunday. We might switch up the schedule when Loki drops and maybe try to get those episodes out earlier since Loki's coming on Wednesday. But this Sunday, I assume we're doing Sweet Tooth because that's one of the only things that's going down. And then the Heroes World Sidekick Show, we're doing a special, kind of want to call it a filler show, but maybe it's a little bit different. We're doing a special on your favorite snacks to eat during watching movies and things like that. So we're going to have a rundown. We're going to have a bunch of guests on. Chris is going to be on and things like that. We're going to talk about our favorite snacks and maybe our least liked snacks. So definitely tune into that. And and I don't know if any trailers are going to be dropping. Rob was talking about there was possibly going to be a Spider-Man one on June 1st or June 2nd, but we have not seen anything yet. So maybe Friday's the day or maybe Saturday's the day. We'll see. But yeah, other than that, I think that's it for us.
That's it for the week.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in, folks. If you're on Twitch, please give us a follow. We're going to try and grow the Twitch channel too. So thank you very much, folks. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Pat. We'll keep working on this. Hopefully you guys had some fun and learned and caught up on your week's worth of stuff. So we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.